Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Welcome to another fabulous week of broadcasting here at USA Global TV and Radio, where we present world-class education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. And I'm so excited about our show today, the Planet Earth show, that I'm actually wearing the Earth on my dress. What do you think of that? I'm Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, and our topic today is creating a new world. Let's welcome the star of our show, Mr. Roland Friedl. He is in his motorhome somewhere in Europe. Let's find out where he is and what he's been up to. Hello.
Hello to Jacalyn. Hello to ladies and gentlemen, wherever you're joining us. Thank you.
Thank you. Where in the world are you today, Roland?
I'm in Italy, in the south of Italy, to be exactly, escaping the cold winters in the north. So I will spend the whole winter in Italy and work from my motorhome.
It's fantastic. You know, Roland, I've seen a number of pictures that people put over the weekend on social media, and they've got on big coats and hats and gloves. And listen, I love all of you for that. I can't do it anymore. I don't know. I can't stand the cold weather. How about you?
Well, actually, you know, a really nice dry cold winter with a lot of snow. I love it because, you know, everything is very calm, slow, no noise. I love it. I love to see it, but I don't love to spend the time there.
I agree. I like to look at it and go, oh, that's nice, you know, but no, I don't want to be in it. I don't know. Doesn't feel good for my skin or my health, but I appreciate it. So we're going to be talking about creating a new world. And you and I were just chatting backstage a little bit. There's been so many changes. And I know for myself, just some basic things that really I didn't think made a huge amount of difference, but if maybe more than one person did it. I used to burn candles all the time. I love the smell of candles. I'd have them all over the house, maybe 15 or 20 candles. I stopped using candles. I used to use hairspray and all kinds of products and spray cans. I stopped doing that. I mean, there's a long list of things that I've stopped doing as a result of this platform and what I've learned from people like yourself and Pet Psychic Amina and others. So do you feel that most people or the people you've been speaking to are interested in really being a part of creating a new world?
Yes and no. Yes, and people that surround me, of course, because, you know, you always attract people, or you always have in your environment, you always have people that are similar to you. That's normal. So maybe they have almost the same thinking, the same belief system. With these people, yes. The no comes from, because, you know, I'm always traveling around the globe. And in many, many areas in the world, I see people who are absolutely not aware, especially when you go to Asia and other countries. And it's okay for them. You know, they have a growing economy. They're prospering. They try to get a better lifestyle. I mean, I would never say you're not allowed. We did it in Europe. We did it in the US to prosper our economy. We destroyed all the stuff. Now we stop it. We learn from it. You're not allowed to do so. I mean, they have to make their own experience. So yes, in my surroundings in Europe, and yes, of course, in other countries, not at all. And unfortunately, in these areas is the majority of the population. When you look, China has 1.4 billion people. India has 1.4 billion people. I guess Indonesia and Malaysia together has 1 billion people. So the majority, not at the moment, but it's an ongoing process.
Yeah, absolutely. And I appreciate you sharing that. I was mentioning to you something that seems so simple, but yet it really has a profound effect in the environment, which is pulling weeds as opposed to spraying them. If you think about how many weeds there are, and I'm not talking about those kinds of weeds, but weeds that are growing in the pavement or ground or wherever, and the number of uh, particles that go into the air as a result of spraying all of these chemicals. And so I decided 2 years ago, I guess, as a result of being on this platform, that that wasn't for me. But that's not the majority, because it's easy to just go ahead and spray as opposed to going and pulling. And I think that has a lot to be said across the board, whether it comes to littering or recycling. And there's so many different topics and areas where we could go here.
Yeah, that's true, Dr. Jacalyn. There are many people, and to be honest, I'm not judging, because most people are not aware, and most people believe what the industry and the commercials tell them. They don't do their own research, and they believe that it's safe. I mean, how many people are smoking? They believe it's cool or good, or I don't know, fast food, or whatever it is. Or here in Europe, we have a lot of products for kids. Um, they added vitamins, and the young moms, they believe that they do something good for the kids. Yeah. So most people are not aware. I'm not judging that, but most people are absolutely not aware what I'm doing, because they believe it's, I won't say it's good, but at least they believe it's not something bad, because it's on TV, it's on a newspaper. When it's on a TV and a newspaper, it's not bad. That's what people believe, and most people don't do the research. So yeah,
Yeah.
I would.
Yeah, I think it's true. And again, I'm glad you said that about the no judgment. So we don't judge here. We just provide education. One thing I think is interesting is when we think about smoking, and we think about however many years ago when you used to see huge billboards, at least here in the States, and they'd have advertisements for cigarettes, and it was the cool thing to do. And then they put the black box with the warning on them. And then, you, instead of getting cigarettes at a vending machine, they were put behind the counter in different places. You had to actually go up and ask for them and show your identification. But people are still smoking. And I know where I go to work out, there's a restaurant nearby, and a number of the workers, I guess before or after or during a break, they're out there smoking. And I'm so unused to being around cigarette smoke, because it's just not, at least where I am, it's not very prevalent. It's kind of like, whoa, it takes you by just like, whoa, I can't believe you're still smoking. Like, that's the first thing that comes up, because there is a lot of information. But to your point, in terms of creating a new world, there are nuances that people might not be familiar with.
Yeah. Well, just in the beginning, just to make it clear, I was always a person who never have been swimming with the current. And as a young rebel, in the university and in the early years, I was trying to swim against the current. I was always fighting. I was an angry young man. I was always fighting against the system and everything. But what I learned is that it's just for my ego. It's just my ego. What I learned is it doesn't make sense. I never would swim with the current, but I'm not swimming against the current anymore. I learned about creating a new world, making it better for myself, for my beloved ones, for my friends, for my neighbors, what I want to call my tribe, so the people that are close to me. I mean, it sounds a bit weird because I travel the world, but my tribe is always there where I'm just currently staying. The people around me. That's what I learned. It's creating something new. It's not about fighting against the old system. I guess the old system will disappear the next years. It's about creating a new world, and I guess we go in a new I got a new dimension of consciousness and awareness, and more people feel it. In many countries in the world, and there are many gatherings and channels, and I think something is going on in the world. I can feel it absolutely. So, and I always believe, maybe it sounds a little weird for some of our audience, but where there's a lot of troubles, meaning there is a lot of darkness, there's always light. And when you go in a huge dark room with no light, you bring just a small candle, you can see every corner. So I strongly believe where there's a lot of darkness, there's also light coming in, and the opposite, when there's light, there's also darkness. So it's always both. There's no good without the bad. There's no white without the black. And we have challenging time. We are facing challenging time. There's many stuff going on. Governments shut us down for the last years. Then there's war going on in different parts of the world. There's an economic crisis. People don't know how to pay their bills. Energy is expensive. Food is expensive. Everything is changing. But I think this is a chance to go in a new direction. Actually, before I had a podcast in German with a guy. He said he's so confused. And we did a podcast about being confused, but so many people are confused. And we came across that he had this experience recently, and I had this experience a few years ago. When you're totally confused, when you're losing ground, your business is breaking down, your relationship is breaking down, you're losing some money. And I was at the same stage some years ago, not that bad. I didn't lose everything, but most. And you're losing ground, and you fall and you fall and you fall and you're falling, but you still try to resist and fight against it. But it doesn't make sense. It does nothing to grab. You fall and fall. But once you realize that it makes no sense, it's not about giving up. It's just about letting be, and trusting the universe. Everything changes. And this was for me a learning process. And I said, okay, let's go. Let go. Because what doesn't belong to you should go away. Yeah, don't be attached to things that don't belong to you, because sometimes we're so attached to things, and it's painful because we how to say we believe that these things are making happy, or we express ourselves through the things, and when you lose it, you learn this what belongs to you will always belong to you. This what belongs to you, nobody can take away. And this was a huge learning process. And the same is right now. So there's a lot of confusion in the world. There's a lot of anxieties. People struggle. But this is a chance for a new paradigm, for creating a new world. And I think it's good times. I have a lot of hope. And to be honest, I found so many interesting new technologies that are still hidden. I met so many interesting people who are working on amazing things. So I'm very hopeful for the future. Absolutely. A crisis is always a chance.
Thank you, Roland. I'm wondering if you can share with our audience, when you think of a new world, you're already there. Okay, we're there right now. How does it look? How does it feel?
It might sound a little bit weird for some people, but I guess it would be the same like 1,000 years ago. I don't mean that we go back in caves, no, not at all. But I know that thousands of years ago, when the consciousness of the people was much more mature, we had a different life. When you look at the pyramids and other stuff, there was a lot of culture in South America, in Egypt, in Russia, in the Celtic area here in Europe. Very, very advanced culture, but everything was destroyed. And then there came the Dark Ages, when all this religion, this fear-driven religion came up, and some other people came to power and destroyed everything for their benefits or whatever. But it's coming back. So what I see is a world of people who are totally free and independent, who not depend on large industry where they get their energy, like electricity, for example, or where they get their processed poisoned food or whatever. I see a world where people become free and independent, producing their own stuff, getting free access to energy, know how to grow their own stuff without herbicides, pesticides, by the way, who's are very, very expensive. By the way, when I talk to farmers who do a traditional agriculture with a lot of herbicides, pesticides, and insecticides, they depend on this industry. They spend a hell of money. So actually growing stuff organically, naturally, is much cheaper and much more healthier. You get much more outcome, by the way. So I see people being independent, being free, and focusing on things that are really important in life, and get rid of all this material shit that we not need. Don't get me wrong. It's not about going back in a cage. Not about that. But we have so many stuff that we absolutely don't need and don't make us happier. I mean, look at our Western society. We have all this technology, access to all different food. We go to supermarket, thousands of different cereals, thousands of different, I don't know, tomato sauces. So it's huge. Does it make us happy? Not at all. Does it make sense? Not at all. So it's about really cutting down things that are essential. And again, it's not about going back in a cave. It's about getting rid of stuff that we absolutely don't need and don't make us happy. And as I said, we have so much stuff, so much convenience, but we are sicker than ever. We're getting older, but the thing is that we keep people alive by a lot of technology and a hell of medication, but it's not helping them to just keep them a little bit alive, but they don't have a really enjoyable life. You know, they cannot really contribute on things, you know, and attend things because they're not healthy, they're not fit, they're still alive. But is this a life that is really good and worth? That's one question. So we have a lot of stuff. On the other hand, we have a lot of people with depression, with burnouts, taking pharmaceuticals, taking antidepressive, or how you call it. So I see there is a tremendous change going on in the world. It takes it always takes a crash, a huge crash, and then people wake up and say, "Oh fuck, maybe I have to turn around. This is a one-way direction. I'm going in the wrong direction." I strongly believe that we can make a difference and make it much better. And as I said, I met a lot of amazing people who do amazing stuff that will come up soon. So I'm very positive and hopeful.
So, Roland, while you shared a lot right there, what I'm wondering is usually there's a pioneer, there's a leader, there's someone, there's a country that is moving forward with this initiative. So when you think about that, which country in this world do you think will be the one to take the reins and the lead on this?
Well, actually, I see a lot. I see a lot of leaders, many leaders, but they're not how to say, putting their face on the camera. There's so many leaders with good ideas, really good people with a good intention, many people are doing amazing stuff in their community, but they're not famous, they're not rich, they're not, I don't know. I have a really problem with the so-called elite, with this philanthropes. So at the end, they do not good stuff. It's all about their power. But I see many leaders in communities. I wouldn't say a world leader who is running a country, but leaders in their tribe, in their community. But if you want to tell me about or ask me about a country or an area where they do good stuff, I know that Americans will punish me, but put mainstream media aside, what the elites want to tell you, or want you to believe. I believe that China is going in a good way because they have a very old tradition. So of course they damaged a lot of the environment, like we did in the US, like we did in Europe, to build up the industry. Yeah, it's part of it. It's part of the game. But they do also very good stuff. I see India, which is growing, and Modi does an amazing job there. So this country, what the Western media wants to tell us as evil, they're doing good stuff. But the system wants to believe, or make us believe, that this is evil and the shit what we are doing is good. But it's the other way around. Sorry, that's the truth. Or my truth, at least.
That's your truth. Well, I always love how passionate you are about how you feel about things. That's amazing.
Yeah, I had a meeting with a former medical doctor, and he gave it up. He was very good in his profession. He gave it up because he doesn't want to be working anymore for the pharmaceutical industry, for the system. And I don't know if you ever heard about the Cash Foundation.
Yes, I have.
The Cash Foundation, it's KESHE. Cash is a person from Persia, and he does amazing research and really amazing stuff. And a little bit undercover because they murdered some of his stuff. They burned down some of the laboratories. But he's very passionate about bringing free energy to everybody, so everybody has free electricity. I don't know if you've heard about plasma technology. It's an incredible stuff that's going on. I'm very into it. And also they have methodologies with this free energy to grow your own food without any herbicides, pesticides, and amazing stuff is going on. So I'm very hopeful, but it takes some time. All these ideas in the beginning, people love about it. They don't take it for serious. It's crazy. Then they fight against it, and at the end, everybody says, yeah, it's normal. So it's just a normal process. Yeah, you love about it. You think, okay, crazy, silly people. Then you fight against it because it's destroying your paradigm, your belief system. I said, oh my God, fuck. I was wrong, or I was thinking in the wrong direction. I was running in the wrong direction. And I don't want to say I'm wrong. No. So the other one is wrong. So they fight against it. It's a normal way. And afterwards, after I don't know, maybe 1 decade or 2 decades, everything is normal. So there was always a change in life, when you look back in humanity, and a lot of crap is coming up. A lot of stuff is coming up that, what's going on in the world, and people realize they've been lied to them, and they do their own research, they find their own groups, but I always tell people, don't fight against the system, don't swim against the current, build up a new world in your community. That's much more important.
Roland, one thing that you and I have discussed on this, I don't know if it was this show, but some of our other shows, and I just had this conversation with someone else, is that many times people will volunteer to jump in for a new initiative. And part of the reason is that they want to be part of the cool group, or they want to kind of run away from whatever it is that they've been doing. And as we know, you can't run away from who you are. You can't run away from what you've done or what you've said. So when we think about this, creating this new world, what kind of mindset and or discipline would a person coming into this have to have?
Well, I can only talk from my experience. The people that surround me and we work together and share. It's all these people I met in person or through technology. Is they all have a very pure, clean, honest intention. That's what's coming up, and I can feel this as really authentic people who are honest and have a very good intention. A very good intention. There's nothing hidden. Okay, it's not about power, it's not about money. They all have a good intention. You can feel it, and people are very passionate about what they're doing, and yeah, they're very driven, and I see that it's about having a good intention and being an honest, respectful person with integrity, loyalty, and all this stuff. This values that got lost. I don't know who was it. Was it Jordan Peterson, Professor Jordan Peterson from Canada, who said he's not scared about what's going on in the world and on the climate crisis, the wars. What he scares him really is that that our values are lost. So, and I think people, but they're still around values like honesty, friendship, integrity, whatever, respect, and so on. And these people come together and reunion and share and care about each other, and yeah, that's the new one. It's not about making more money. We all know that this doesn't make us happy at all. Some people don't believe it, but it's true. It doesn't make you happy. It's more convenient to have money. It's absolutely no doubt on that. But the question is, what kind of price are you paying? Losing your health, using your relationships, losing the trust of your children, stuff like that. Are you really willing to pay this price? And a lot of people are asking themselves, oh my God, especially people in the 40s, 50s, they say, oh my God, what have I done? I made a hell of money, had a career, build up a good business, but I'm a single. My wife left me, or my husband left me. My kids don't talk to me. I don't have real friends, honest friends. What the fuck have I done the last 30 years? So more and more people asking this question. So I don't say it's bad. I say we're going in the wrong direction. So we have going down to this material, this golden calf, this material stuff. It was a wrong direction. We forgot about all our values. And when you ask me, Dr. Jacalyn, about countries who do different, the people in China and also in India, from my own experiences, of course they want more comfort. Of course they want more convenience. They want material things. Yes, but it didn't forget until now. We don't know what's going on in 40, 50, 60 years. I have no idea. But we talk now. They didn't forget their old values, their culture. But we did. We did it. And I think that's a real threat. But I guess we changing the direction right now. Many people are changing the direction.
Yeah, great points. Thank you, Roland. I wanted to bring up something that just came to mind as you were speaking, which is I saw on social media one of the A-list celebrities who's done quite a lot, very charitable, has really kind of transformed the industry this person is in. And the comments that people decided to leave on this particular post, which this person didn't post the post, someone else posted it and just wrote, "What do you think?" And the people who commented, tens of thousands of people, were all slamming this person because her stomach was sticking out in this outfit she was wearing. And I thought to myself, no one's saying anything about all the good that this person is doing in the world or how they've transformed the industry that they're in. They're all looking at this person's stomach. And I thought, what is going on? It's incredible.
Yeah, some people criticize others to feel better. That's the way. Instead of doing better by themselves or making difference or better, it's easier to criticize the other one. Yeah, you always see that, especially with social media. I mean, people. I get a lot of shitstorm on my postings also because I'm a little bit controversial. But I don't care because I know people sitting on the sofa or they're sitting on the toilet during the shit. They write a comment, they write a shit comment during the shit. So I give a shit on that. I'm not responsible for their triggers. I'm not responsible for their frustration. If somebody has resistance, they can keep it. I don't care about it. But most people care so much what other people think. And for me, it's more important what I think about myself, what my beloved ones think about myself, what my kids think about me, my friends think about me, than the rest of the world. But most people do it the other way around, and that's what's going wrong.
Yeah, people they have a lot of time on their hands doing whatever they're doing, and they just decide to reach out and insult other people instead of focusing on what it is that they're doing. So that's part of what I would like to see in a new world where we actually do care about each other instead of judging each other and putting each other down. We actually lend a hand. How can I help you? What can I do to bring you up?
Absolutely. It's all about caring and sharing. We can make this planet only a better one when we care and share. It's not this ego system anymore. It's about caring and sharing. It's about learning from each other and not doing put the other down. It's about learning from each other and even people who trigger me, or people I would say that I don't like, but what I learned is there's a reason why they came into my life, and what can I learn from this? What triggers me? What's the trigger? Why I'm triggered? What can I learn? So I'm to be honest, it was a hard lesson for me, but I learned that there's always a reason for any event or any person that comes to my life and challenges me, and there's always the question: what can I learn from this? And since this, my life is much more joyful. And I learn so much, and I learn so much about myself. And I guess that's the most important thing, that we learn about ourselves. And it's interesting that people, I don't know, whatever they try to learn, and they have no fucking idea who they are.
Well, let's say that someone doesn't know who they are, but maybe they're doing the work to actually learn, and that takes time. And I think that's something that's really important. Anytime you look at change and something that's as substantial as creating a new world, sometimes just creating a new habit for yourself. I mean, I've heard all kinds of things. It's 31 days, it's 3 months, it's 6, whatever it is. It's something that doesn't just happen automatically. And I think we as humans, we just get weak and we go back to what it is that we know. And I think that's part of the reason why people also lash out, because they've not been able to move forward in their own lives. So if they can pull somebody else down, then they don't feel as badly about their own flaws and inability to move to another level. What do you think?
Absolutely, and the thing was, I learned is, of course, when you think, okay, I go in a new direction, and there's always obstacles on the way, always. And there's a song by actually he passed away, an Austrian songwriter, and it says 2 steps forward, 1 step back, and that's life. You're progressing a little bit, and the obstacles, then you go 1 step back. It happens, yeah, but keep going, and trust the process. If you believe in something, go for it. There will always be resistance. There will always be obstacles, distraction. This is normal, but don't give up. Stay with it, and day by day it's going easier, but there are always obstacles. As I said, As long as it's 2 steps forward and 1 step back, you're moving forward. You're moving forward. Be patient. And that's what we also have to learn in our society. That's what I learned from my dog and my cat, but also from indigenous people around the globe, is being patient, taking time. We're always in a hurry. Everything must be a quick fix. Why? It takes time. And when I talk about, I was always a person who was always, always driven, always doing, always very, very active, but not really enjoying. I had a conversation today with a very good friend of mine in the morning. He called me and I said, "How you doing?" I said, "Yeah, good." I said, what's different this trip than the other trips? And I said, what's different with this trip is than trips 5, 6, 7 years ago was when I arrived somewhere, I couldn't enjoy. I was thinking about the day, the next city, the next park, the next thing I'm going to visit. I was never in the present moment. And that's what I learned, is slowing down and being present and really live the life, not just hurrying from point to point. And then one day you pass away in this reincarnation, in this body, and said, "Oh my God, I didn't see anything, I didn't feel anything, I didn't learn anything. I was just rushing from spot to spot, from business to business, from whatever it is." So I guess we have to be patient when we go in a new direction, when we learn something. As I said, there are always distractions, always obstacles. We have to learn to slow down. We are too fast. And this is not healthy at all. I guess the future is not about faster, wider, more. It's about being more flexible, adapting to situation, because it's more challenging times are coming. So being adaptable, being flexible, because most people are triggered by change. And also going deeper. It's not about wider and longer and more. It's about going deeper to realize who you really are. What is the essence of your being? And once you arrive there, I can tell you guys, you never want to go back. It's different. You feel so safe. You feel so protected by the universe. It's incredible. They can take away all the money you have and everything. You just feel safe and protected. That's my own experience.
It's interesting what you shared, Roland. And I know that you were in corporate for a brief amount of time. I was in corporate for a longer amount of time. But it got me thinking that when I was in corporate, there were all of these goals that had to be set. You constantly had to meet with executives, review your plan for 3 months, 6 months, a year, 5 years, 10 years. You had to fill out charts. Then every Monday you had to go around the table and say where you were with your goals. And now as an entrepreneur, obviously I have goals and I have things that I want to achieve, but it feels so different. And yesterday when I was in the spin class, and the instructor said something, and I thought to myself, I'm not going to worry about what's happening after this class. I'm going to focus on what am I doing? How am I showing up right now at this moment? If this was the last moment I had on earth, am I giving it everything that I have? But we don't do that most of the time. Most of the time we're doing something and we're thinking about something else. And as you know, this is how, as a society, we don't even listen to each other because we can't even be focused for a short amount of time. And I shared this before many times. My other workout that I do, people are literally stopping in a $37 class and looking at their phone and Instagram. They literally stop and get off the machine, pick up their phone and scroll through Instagram during the class. And I imagine it's because they can't focus. But this is becoming more and more. I see it all the time. People going for walks, they're not looking at what they're doing. They're tripping over things. So I hope when we create a new world that we're able to focus on who we're with, what we're doing, and our thoughts at that moment.
Absolutely. And this is really amazing, when you see people, when you go to a restaurant and a bar and people sitting together and everybody's on a smartphone, they're not communicating with each other. Yeah, this I don't know where this is going, but I more and more people get rid of this. And I use my smartphone too also, I do my work with that. I also scroll on social media, but it's funny because, a friend of mine told me, he just posted recently, he posted something and I said, hey, you immediately gave me a like. And I said, yeah, sometimes I have time and just scroll through it and I give everyone a like. just to support the channel, but I don't read the content, to be honest. I don't have the time. But I give my smartphone away when I'm together with somebody. I don't look at it. I give my smartphone away when I work, or when I eat, when I meditate for different. I just put it away. I put it on silence. In the night, it's off. It's on flight mode or totally off. You have to learn. But most people are really dependent on it. A friend of mine, he's teaching in a school. Well, actually, a school. Not really a school. He's teaching trainers who become trainers in different sports fields in Austria. There's a famous school. So this person is teaching in their 20s, mid-20s. So they already have finished high school and all this stuff. So they're in their mid-20s. And he said he doesn't allow smartphones in his classes. And I said, okay, you don't have to give it, but put it away. And people get hysterical to put a smartphone away. Can you imagine, for an hour? So they're so addicted to this stuff. But what's more important, the more important question for me is why are people addicted to the smartphone? Why are they escaping in a virtual world? What is going on there? Are people so lonely, so bored, so frustrated, so depressed? And, I remember when I was a kid, we always been out in the forest playing outside. It was hard for my mom to get us inside. Today it's the other way around. It's hard to get the kids away from the computer or whatever, to get them out in the park or in the forest. So something is going wrong in this world. But more and more people realize this, and more people do differently, and that's the hope. And as I always say, we only can be a role model for others. It's not about finger pointing; it's about becoming a role model and leading by example.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it might come down to that fear of missing out, that if you're not on your phone, if you can't be connected, if you're missing something. But, and I know we're coming to the end of the show. When my mom died this year, I really started looking at things very differently, because I started to think about how much time I have left going forward and who I want to spend that time with and how I want to spend that time. It's almost like this huge, I don't want to say this weight was lifted off of me, but I started thinking I'm going to be living for myself and for what I believe in, as opposed to what I'm supposed to be doing, what everybody thinks I'm supposed to be doing, where I'm supposed to be going. But I didn't feel that way until I saw my mom die. And then I realized how precious life is and how we get so caught up in things. And, I have people from the past calling me. I'm thinking that is so over. I'm not wasting another minute speaking with you, because that's all we have is time. And how you spend that time as you get older, that time becomes more and more valuable.
I always say time, health, and good relationships. That's the most important thing in life. When you break your business, your lifestyle, you can always rebuild it. But when you break your health and you waste your time and you break your relationships, then you're really in hell. If there's a hell. So it's so important to be more aware about the time. And the interesting thing is, when I live in my motorhome, I work from a motorhome, and sometimes observe myself, from a helicopter perspective. What the fuck is he doing right now? And I love cooking. I go to restaurants too, but most of the time I love to cook for myself, because I'm very serious about what I'm eating, clean food, and so I cook. And when I cook for myself, I know what I'm eating. So I have to dishwash and stuff like that, because I'm a single, and I love what I'm doing. And actually, when I was together with my girlfriend, I was the dishwasher on a camping site. I went there and was cleaning everything. I love it. It's kind of meditation for me. I learned it from Thich Nhat Hanh, meditating during dishwashing. And and I was thinking, I walked 3-4 times in and then I said, years ago, I would be more, what we call it, more efficient. Doing things parallel, or just walk once. Now I walk 2-3 times. My girlfriend, when we've been together last year, she said, "What the fuck are you doing?" I said, "Why not? I have the time. It's my life. Why should I hurry? Why should I be more efficient and stress myself?" So it's, I was also trained on productivity and efficiency, and it's okay. But sometimes, it's just enough. Sometimes it's just too much. And that's what I learned the last year, is really less pressure, less speed, and being more present for myself and for other people, and enjoying more life. And I'm here in my motorhome. I have less costs than in the large house and with all these cars. So there's less pressure on me. Of course, I earn much less money than years ago. Yes, I do, of course. But I'm fine. I'm fine. I wouldn't say I'm more. I wouldn't say that I'm unhappy. I think I'm more. I feel more happiness. I feel more joy because I have more time. I've been more present. I've been more aware about myself. I learn about myself much better. And I think this is about creating a new world. The new world starts, ladies and gentlemen, inside you. It's nothing outside. It's inside you. There's the start. And then you like a candle, then you burn your beloved one, then you burn your kids, then you burn your, by burn I mean inspire, then you burn the candle inside your beloved one, inside your neighbor, and then that's how we create a new world. But everything starts inside. That's what I mean, creating a new world. It starts inside, and being aware. What I'm doing, what I really want, what is really me, what is the essence of me. And once you go through this process, and to be honest, that's heavy shit to be sorry for this. This is really hard work to look at the dark sides and don't put it down and don't get distracted by, I don't know, sport or I don't know, any achievements or drugs or whatever it is. No, really look at the dark side and really go through this shit. And afterwards you feel so free and so look up, this is the essence, that's me when I put all this away. And you feel so safe and so protected, as I said before. And this is what I mean by creating a world, a new world. It starts inside, and then we bring it there by inspiring other people in the outside.
Excellent comments and insights. Thank you so much. We're at the end of our show. Can you please share with our audience the value that you can bring to them, Roland, and how would you like them to reach out to you?
Well, I just would end like with the last phrase. It's just my job and my intention is to inspire you. First of all, the question is, where do you want to go to? And maybe you want some inspiration from my experience. You're more than welcome to contact me. The best way is to email me. It's office at my name, Roland Friedl, one word together, rolandfriedl.com. Get in contact with me. I'm more than happy to inspire you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Roland. We'll be right back with our next show, which is the Mallorca Connection. What will we be discussing on that program?
It's about making a difference. I strongly believe that everybody can make a difference in someone else's life. And let's talk about making a difference and how you can make a difference and make this world a better place. Actually, it's more or less a continuum of this show that we bring to the other show. So stay tuned. Stay in.
All right. Stay tuned. Don't touch that dial, so to speak. We'll be right back in about 15 minutes or so with the Mallorca Connection with Mr. Roland Friedl. Please do subscribe to our channel, USA Global TV and Radio, so you can be part of our family here. And we look forward to welcoming you very soon as we come back shortly. Bye for now, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.